Now everybody has to be very quiet, okay?
Hello and welcome everybody to the High Ground Podcast. I am excited because I have a lot of first-time guests here, but we're diving to a topic I haven't talked about on the channel yet, and that's the Darkside and the Sith. And it's one of my favorite things. I've always loved it, always vibed with it. So yeah, we're gonna do that right here on the High Ground Podcast. Hello and welcome everybody to the High Ground Podcast. I am excited to talk to all of y'all because I've talked to everyone individually about some dark side stuff, some Sith stuff, and I'm excited. Also, Callus, I'm digging the Spider-Man shirt. I just noticed that. I'm hyped for There Will Be Carnage. Hopefully we get to see something of Spider-Man.
Maybe, right? Maybe.
We'll see. Yeah. I can dream them. Anyways, I want to start by we may have another guest joining shortly, but we'll see. I want us to get started by going around. I'll have you introduce you. Who are you? Where can we find you in your content? And let's do your favorite Star Wars book. So I know we're all readers, so do that. And I'll start with M Force User.
Let's go.
All right. Hello, I'm M. You can find me on TikTok. My username is M_ForceUser_. So my favorite book is actually Dawn of the Jedi. I'm a huge Before the Old Republic fan. That's my era. That's my jam. I absolutely love the main character, and I absolutely love the villain even more in that book. Excellent book. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Awesome. I love that. It's a good read. I need to revisit that. How about you, Dagobert?
Yeah, so most people know me for like reactions. You can find me anywhere on YouTube and Twitter, Lord Dagobert. But I do some more stuff, just about anything, any excuse to talk about Star Wars and get hype. That's me. I'm your guy. And favorite Star Wars book? Oh, fam, it's can I pick three? Can I pick three? Is that okay?
So all right, go for it.
Yeah. So Pain Path of Destruction, and then Thrawn Alliances. And then Rising Storm, fam, it just reminded me so much of Bane Paths of Destruction. I just got into it and loved it. So those three right now, any day. Listen to them any day.
Awesome. All three great choices. I love the mix of the different eras, so I appreciate that. How about you, Callus?
Lord Callus TV on YouTube, and I just got on to TikTok, so I'm doing some since the addition of shorts for YouTube, I've sort of just transferred my shorts to TikTok. So it's been pretty cool. And then, so I'm Lord Callus on YouTube and TikTok. Favorite book is probably Plagueis or Revenge of the Sith novelization. And if we're talking series, then it would be obviously the Bane series.
Nice. Excellent choices there.
So good.
All super solid. I just had to switch my mic because for some reason,
it was low.
It should be a lot better now. So I apologize to anyone in the chat that was that was trying. Also, we got a late comer. We got my girl Sawyerism. How are you doing?
Sorry, I was fighting with bunch of cords and my lights, and I'm moving tomorrow. I'm very stressed out.
No worries. Well, hopefully, that you accessing the dark side here on this podcast will kind of ease that pain. Real quick, if you don't mind, if I can have you introduce yourself, where we can find your awesome content, and then also hit us with your favorite book.
Oh, okay. Like all canon legends, doesn't matter?
Yeah, whatever it means to you.
Okay.
Favorite
book. Okay. Hi, I'm Sawyer. I'm Sawyerism on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, if you want to hear me rant about Loki even a month after it ended. And my favorite book is Revan. It's always going to be Revan.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I was
Not
like, just say it. Just say
Yeah,
it.
just say it.
Also, shout out to Dan the Man. My friends, at long last, we meet Darth Chaco. Hello, Dan. And one day we'll be in the same live. Absolutely. I'm always looking for new people to collaborate with and chill with. We're trying to build up this community and just have fun. Just have fun vibing with Star Wars. So I always appreciate it. And more from Dan. Pleasure to meet you, Sawyerism. So, I mean, I already like this, Dan. Xanatos
those
agrees
two
with
don't
you.
mind, right? Since he said hello to me.
We can talk about that off stream. We talk about that off stream. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Well, in order to kind of break the ice and get a feel for everyone and where we all kind of stand, I want to start off with a question: like, if you could be the protagonist in any of the Star Wars projects, any of the books that we've had, or the games or whatever, you are the main character, but you have to live their story. I gotta ask, who would you be rocking with?
Oh boy.
I'll go Dagobir first. And by the way, I do want this to be conversational. I always call on someone first, just so we can get things going. So I call on people if no one's jumping in, but. I'll start with Dagobir.
Yeah, so this is the part of the conversation where all my favorite Darksiders and Sith I just want to forget about because I really don't want to live part of their lives, especially like Revan where he gets tormented for 300 years. So, when I think about it, honestly, from a standpoint, maybe Ahsoka, I think Ahsoka would be pretty sick because you would see the kind of the outcast, of the Jedi Council, and then her kind of redeem herself with Anakin, and then finding her way through all that, and then also living through the dark times, and then we know where she is in the Mandalorian, So I'm very curious to see where that all heads, kind of goes, and we still don't know what's going to happen with the Ahsoka series and everything else. I think that's pretty intriguing. Maybe I don't know. I'll try it. I'll do it. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Dagobir's going Ahsoka. Who are we doing, Lord Callus?
So it depends, because the trick in that question is living out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So now the question is, when we're talking the protagonist, can it be a sidekick? Can it be a child? Does it have to be the main protagonist?
It's got to be someone substantial enough. If it's going to be the main protagonist, because I'm living their whole life, I'm gonna go with Din Djarin right now. Okay. It would have probably been Luke. If it could be a side character, it would have been Ben Skywalker. Okay. If we're talking side characters, I'd be Babu Frick. I don't know, that guy he's on top of the world all the time, How about you, Sorry?
Oh my gosh. Well, now I'm sitting here changing my answer. Because of course the first thing I jumped to was Valkorion. I know he loses, but
eventually he wins more than he loses. So.
I don't care. Yes. I would have to be Valkorion, not Valen. I would say Valen if she was less annoying, but.
So glad I didn't choose Revan, by the way.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we got M-Force user.
So, protagonist, right? I'm always going to go with Legends. And in that case, living it out, because we don't know the full story of what happens after Dynasty of Evil, I'm going to go with Darzana, my favorite character. Not just because she's a complete, awesome powerhouse with the Force, Darkside, sorcery, all that great stuff. But when you really examine the character, she's the chosen one of the Force in that time, in that situation. So I'm going to go with the chosen one, Darzana.
Yeah,
okay,
that's sick.
Okay. We will need to see if your double-bladed lightsaber skills are up to Xanatos.
I'll take someone else into that.
Also, shout out to DePaul, the unofficial channel sponsor, and also check out Conspiracy Cantina.
Okay.
Element 7 and I were on that podcast yesterday, just talking about the Force in general and kind of deep diving into it. So, yeah, that was just a ton of fun. All right. So, all right, now we got a feel. I think I was gonna ask everyone's top 3 Star Wars films. Let's do that a lightning round real quick. We don't need to go deep into it.
Okay.
Lord Callis, hit me. Top 3 films.
Top 3 is Revenge of the Sith, Empire, and Return of the Jedi.
Beautiful. Storism?
I hate this question. I hate every time people ask me this question. Fine. Okay. Empire, Rise of Skywalker, and I'll change it up. I'm gonna say Attack of the Clones because for nostalgic reasons, Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. M.
Oh, Return of the Jedi, A New Hope, and Revenge of the Sith. Spicing it up.
Okay.
Let's go.
Beautiful.
Let's go.
Dagomir?
All right. Try not to talk too much. Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, and then Rogue One.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I have found that, I love The Last Jedi, but it and Empire, it just depends on which one I watched most recently is my favorite. That's what I found. So at this moment in time, Empire, The Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi.
Let's go.
But yeah, I always like to get that so we can kind of like, all right, you get your errors. We can judge each other silently if we
instantly.
would like to. It's all good. But cool. Jumping into the dark side. Why is it so freaking cool? Like, why have we all been obsessed with it? Sora, you go first.
Why is the dark side cool? It's better. I don't know. I guess I've always been kind of into the bad characters as a whole, but I just think that for me, I think it's just it being the polar opposite of the Jedi and growing up with the prequels, and having such a distaste for the prequel Jedi, it made the dark side that much more appealing because those Jedi are like, don't feel, don't do this, don't do that, and the dark side is the complete opposite. So I think that's like the initial appeal for me. And then, of course, when I got, into the legend stuff and I started exploring what you can do with the dark side, man, it's just so cool.
Yeah, I was present the whole time she was playing through Coder for the first time, and that was fun to watch.
Yes.
Especially the very first time when her build was wrong and couldn't beat the game and had to start over.
No.
Just put her on blast. It's all right. How about you, Em?
There we go. So it's the best question ever, honestly. So the dark side, it's limitless in the power that you can master. So like the depths of Sith alchemy, sorcery, magic, it's all really amazing to me. It's so much better than just that narrow boxed approach to the light side with as far as your capabilities and the extent that you could go. Not to mention that if you look at like the loyalty to the dark side users, Sith, it doesn't even have to be Sith, just dark side users have had from before the Old Republic to present, they're far more loyal with that connection. And it's stronger, in my opinion, than light side users. It's just that depth that you see with the connection. It's so unique with the bond, the power that the user has with the dark side, of course. It's just very individualistic approach, which I like. It allows for that individualism compared to the collective of the light side. So that's just my take.
No, I love. I mean, it's so true. As long as you aren't like Lord Kopesh and you're perverting the Sith with your vast numbers. Also, shout out to Beings of the Galaxy.
Let's go.
Awesome. It's kind of like People of New York, but in Star Wars on a podcast. I actually just came from recording with them. So just telling a story. Super cool.
You're in New York?
No. There's a podcast called People of New York where it's like stories told by different people as if you were traveling around. It's like the same concept of that in Star Wars. But yeah, I mean, how about you, Dagavir? What makes it so cool?
I think at the end of the day too is like I think we all like characters that have issues, right? That that they have like problems in some way. Maybe they struggle with darkness. And I'm someone that I have depression, so I always love the issue of like Skywalker struggling with like their inner darkness and things like that. And I think that's ultimately, I don't know, it's what I get out of Star Wars is you can have these issues, but I don't know, there's such a struggle with the dark side because it's inside everybody, right? And maybe you're more susceptible because you have these, like the Skywalkers are so strong, they're so powerful, so they're always going to have the dark side trying to feast on their potential, right? And I think that's ultimately what I like about the dark side is the trick of the dark side. Does that make sense? Does that actually make sense? Because that's what I like it, because it's always like toying with you, saying, yeah, man, you can be omnipotent. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. Everything's going to be fine. And I think that's why I like the dark side in stories and video games, because it's always a trick. It's always showing you and deceiving you and distorting your vision and perception of reality. So that's why I enjoy the dark side.
No, that's awesome. I love it. Okay, because it is ultimately a trick, but that's why it requires that loyalty. Like, people like Darth Bane, he's like, yes, it is a trick. We know this, and you just you know it and you move on. How about you, Lord Callus?
I love the dark side because of I believe like how Sidious says it's unnatural. I believe it's the opposite. It's very natural. When you think about, like, for myself, I would want to try to be good, right? But for that would be a struggle in itself, because I'm a very passionate person. And the first tenet of the dark side is there's only passion, right? And so if I'm trying to fight what is only naturally me, then that to me is the right side of the coin. You know what I mean? Now, how I choose to use that, it doesn't, the dark side isn't innately evil, right? You're not innately evil just because you pull on the dark, you utilize the dark side of the force, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just think that it's how you choose to utilize that darkness. I'm a passionate person, so I would just naturally be drawn to that darkness. And though I would try to use that darkness for good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just all of the passions involved in what it is to be of the dark side is I would just live in that world.
Yeah. Preach, fam. That was good. Love it.
Yeah. And then for me, in terms of storytelling and stuff, like there's always something so visceral about it. It's always, I like when I was like a power lifter and I was did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Choco lift us all up.
No, I was dead serious when I said I made a lot of personal records listening to the production, because you feel it and you like,
man,
you get this mode, and again, accessing, like you said, it's not inherently evil. It is inherently selfish. But that can channel itself in different ways. And so for me, I kind of have the opposite temperament of the dark side. Like, I've always thought it was cool. My name was Darth Jocko, but like I would end up being a Jedi. I already know this. But when I am like in the zone and I'm reading these books and doing these things, and it forces you to think inwardly like that, and it's, I don't know, it's just cool. Plus, who doesn't want to see them like kicking ass and stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Darkside users kick the most ass for sure. Yeah. We got more from Dan the Man, and I appreciate you, man. I want to say, like, you don't have to donate. Like, I will always put you on screen if you do, but I don't want to. I'm not trying to milk you dry. But Darth Maul all day. Only difference is I would grow as a person personally if I was in his shoes. Yeah, he kind of stagnated a bit and just single-minded goal while everyone else grew around him. But again, that's part of the thing. It's thinking inwardly and like that single-minded focus, which is can be fantastic.
Mm.
Sometimes. I know. I mean, let's talk about that relationship between the dark and the light side. And again, everyone feel free to jump in, but I'll go to Sawyerism first. Like, what do you think that relationship is? Is the Force two separate things, dark and light? Is it all one thing? And what is that relationship kind of like?
This discussion, I feel like we have this discussion, like our little friend group, all the time. We do. But I mean, the dark side, is interesting in that it can exist in, well, the dark side is constant, right? Like it just kind of, as we observe in The Last Jedi, where, it's not equal light and equal dark, but death is darkness and birth is light and blah, 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 blah. There's that, but then there's the Sith, and you can have these beings of like concentrated darkness, and then you can have hundreds of Jedi happening at the same time. That's what we see in the prequel era. And or you can have the opposite, way back where there's millions of Sith. And so, I mean, I think the dark side is, I would say it takes more forms almost than the light side does, because I feel like the light is like an inherent purity or goodness, but the dark side is, kind of like Callus said, like being true to yourself. Like that can take many different forms, and it can be expressed differently, and how you choose to use it is different. So yeah, I mean, I just think that the dark side is more versatile in terms of, what role it plays in the ebb and flow of the Force throughout the galaxy.
No. I just want to shout out Gray Face says, trust me, guys, the dark side is only good in fiction. In real life, the dark side will mess you up. I know, I lived it. Hey, man, hugs, like, I don't know, virtual hugs. We I don't know what you've been through, but it sounds rough. We got you. Yeah, I mean, Dagobah, light and dark. Where do you come in on this?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like, I don't know. It's I guess it's kind of the same thing that I was kind of preaching before about like the trick, but that's the thing too. Callus really harped on that, and to echo what everybody else is saying is like I feel like it's kind of a natural thing, and ultimately, I feel like it takes advantage of like who you are at times. And there's so many things with fear, and the fear of what you don't understand, and mystery, and the future. It's just like Revenge of the Sith, right? And Anakin's struggle about Padme dying, which ultimately he indirectly caused in a sense, But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a struggle, and I think it's a natural struggle, especially why I love Star Wars so much is that if you go on and you live and you watch these movies over and over, you ultimately get different lessons throughout the years. But that's just maybe my take, and I think that's why I love Star Wars so much, and the whole idea of light and dark is that it's subjective, right? You can get what you want from that, and that lesson between light and dark.
Nice. I like it. We got X-Core Gamer Skills, and we kind of talked about this on. He's one of the people on Conspiracy Cantina. He says dark side, the light side. It's all a spectrum. Caleb in the chat says I would be a Duke who uses the dark side but isn't completely fueled by hatred. I gotta say, Dark Disciple, he's pretty dark.
Yeah, he gets really hatred, and towards the end of that, he's not the same character.
he looks nice still.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you think of that relationship?
She's talking about Bane again.
Sorry, you're
sorry, Mike was back. Sorry. So, like the relationship with light and dark, a lot of people say it's a spectrum, but when you look at the Force itself, those are just pieces that make up the Force as far as like a viewpoint, truthfully, because good and evil, it's just a matter of point of view, right? So it's symbiotic. The Force is almost like everything in that galaxy exists in the ecosystem, which is the Force. So the relationship with light and dark is very symbiotic. You cannot have one without the other, and they both coexist together, whether you pledge allegiance to the philosophies of the light or dark trying to, utilize their power to the fullest extent. You can't fully use it 100% light or 100% dark because the opposite still exists, like yin and yang. It's still circling. So it's very symbiotic. I wouldn't say spectrum, but that's just me. I think of it as more of like an ecosystem.
Yeah. And I'd have to say I'd agree with that, because it feels a lot like, when we're in the Mortis arc and you see the day changing, you see the decay and stuff of the plants and animals and that endless cycle. And then again in The Last Jedi, when Luke and Rey are talking about the Force, and they have it's happiness and despair, and it's light and it's dark and it's cold and it's warmth, and it's life and then it's death that gives birth to new life. It is that ever changing, right? So that destroying the darkness was never the point of the Jedi, and I think that's where some of them believed it was, which
is philosophy, destroying of the philosophy of the Sith. You see, the dark is there. Yeah, I agree. Like Mortis is a perfect example. It's like an ecosystem. It's
right.
Like you exist within it. It doesn't. It exists within you, but you truthfully exist within it because it's everywhere. The Force, right?
Yeah.
The magic wand. Yeah.
Love it. How about you, Callus?
Yeah, I can't even say it any better. What she said is exactly. I agree. It's just yin and yang.
Yeah, beautiful. That's why I start with a different person each time, because someone's gonna steal it. Someone's gonna steal it. And I do. Always. We always end up at the place where like too much darkness or too much death, too much decay or destruction can destroy the ecosystem. But for the person doing the destroying, they're living large for that minute.
Destroying too, the Force will counter with it. It's like whether there's too much light or too much dark, with like the whole ecosystem concept, like in the scientific way, nature fights back. So it will constantly try to create a balance, even on Earth. Nature does that. So too much dark, light will counteract to destroy the infection, and vice versa with dark.
A la Anakin.
I feel like I need Jeff Goldblum saying "Life finds a way."
Life finds a way.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and Padawan's podcast points out to you, I think it's interesting that some of the characters from Legends of Canon turn to the dark side to do good. Again, Dark Disciple is a great example of this, and Quinlan Voss goes beast mode, but you also kind of see, it's you're dealing with a knife's edge of control, so you need to be like Bane or Zayna, have that full commitment. Darth Kaitis as well.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Legacy of the Force series is a perfect example of that. Turning dark to do good.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait to revisit that.
I know. I think about it all the time.
Because some of the other questions you had, that was one of Kaitis is my man.
Nice.
My man.
Yeah, let's go. He's a tank.
My man.
Well, so we kind of started to incorporate in there, but we also have the Sith code versus the Jedi code, right? So we talk about the dark and light as they exist, right? Because they, within Star Wars, they exist to an extent. I feel like they exist in the real world inside of us all, but that's a whole separate topic. But then we have the actual dogmas of the Jedi and Sith that are very much opposed to one another. I'm curious on your thoughts on how that interplay works.
So with the Jedi and the Jedi and the Sith code, just like you said, it's the dogmatic approach, but they're two pieces of the same puzzle. So the dark side, the Sith code, essentially that's the individualistic approach to the connection to the Force and just purely the individual, because as we've seen from Legends, Sith society doesn't really last very long, or very successful. But the Jedi Code is more of like a collective society-based approach in a way. That's why, it flourishes a little bit longer when you look at it. I mean, yeah, the Sith come and knock them down a peg once in a while, but essentially it works with a collective as long as you obey what the collective says. So the codes are the exact opposite of one another, but like the biggest analysis I have of it is that they're trying to encompass something that they truly don't understand. Like they're creating a dogmatic ideology out of fear of the other half of the Force. So the opposite power and the opposite connection to the Force, they don't understand. The Jedi doesn't understand how the Sith gain their power through the Force. Truthfully, they may have like the reasoning of how they do it, but they don't understand it. And the Sith do not understand the true connection and the power of the light side. And so that's why you have those dogmatic kind of viewpoints. It keeps your following in check, essentially.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. Just real quick, we got Quivs, big Dooku fan, and Levi Bond as well. Well, let's get on. Dooku's getting a lot of love in the chat.
Yeah,
Says,
Dooku, yeah.
I imagine a Darkside user would be like being Carrie Underwood in the Before He Cheats video. It's a deep cut. I appreciate that, Rhonda. How about you, Dagavir? Is peace a lie?
Man, peace is such a lie. No, I mean, I love the Sith Code, and I think as Star Wars fans, we've always tried to apply certain aspects of these codes, right, to get through like things. Maybe like we use it as motivation or some type of knowledge, whatever. But fam, I always think about you ever read the Deceived book on Star Wars: The Old Republic with Malgus?
I'm so glad you brought this up because I was going to bring it up too.
Yeah. Because I love Malgus so much. Okay, oh my goodness, he's such a great character. And when I think we get to see it in the actual first trailer, which is the Deceived trailer, right, where he's walking in and you just see him destroying everybody. But in the book, he has this great monologue. I haven't read this thing in like 10 years, by the way, so sorry. But he's going on about this rant about the Jedi and their code and everything, and I was just like, yeah, get him, Malgus, and I don't know. I think both of them. I kind of to harp back on what Em said. Yeah, both of them don't really truly understand like how each other's code truly is. Unless like they're someone like Kreia, who's been a Grandmaster on the light side, and then who's been a Darth, who kind of understands both sides of the spectrum. So I don't know. I guess the question is I don't know. so.
I mean, we know Kreia was right, but
yes, yeah, we'll get there.
How do you feel, Callus?
I mean, it's ultimately the Jedi to blame for the Sith Code anyway, because the Sith were formerly Jedi.
Yes,
it's the same with the Night Sisters. So when you have the what was her Alia? Right, she was formerly a Jedi, and chose to follow the path of darkness. So, and actually, she didn't. When the Night Sisters changed her book of law to follow the dark side, right? So, but her law was originally birthed from the Jedi Code, and then the Sith Code was just took the Jedi Code and turned it on its ass. But then when you have people like the followers of Palo, or who have a completely different concept of the Force, then you see those codes begin to change. So it's very difficult to put the two against each other when they all came from the same person. They came from the Jedi. Your Sith code is birthed from the Jedi. So no wonder why it's dogmatic,
Yeah. It's I mean, I do love it's interesting though, because as we kind of see it I'm referencing Darth Bane a lot because I'm currently rereading it, but while both the Jedi and the Sith are fighting on Ruusan, you see that where the Sith are acting like Jedi with this whole group of people, but then Hoth is like so pissed off that he's acting like a Sith on the planet.
Yeah, they ain't got no idea what they're doing. They're all messed up. Yeah.
Well, and And so while like we said, that it is an ecosystem, in order to like achieve, it's like when you're playing a video game, choosing between being a good guy or a bad guy. Like you either go all good or you go all bad. You know what I mean? Like otherwise you don't get your stat bonuses.
Whoops.
That's kind of how I feel about it. We got Andre saying it looks like Nerd Council. Close. Miss Aggie, I need to get on the Darth Bane books. You do.
Me too. Me too.
Let's go. Those audiobooks are good too, by the way.
Jonathan Davis does a great job as Dessel. It's wonderful stuff. All right, cool. So if you could turn. Oh.
Yeah, Sawyer. I think Sawyer. Yeah, she wanted to go. She heard Delph and she wanted to go.
No, all right. Sawyer,
let's go.
I normally would just let you go, but I had stuff to say here, okay? Especially because Dagavir brought up Deceived. Okay, I don't know if anyone has seen my video, but I did it a few days ago. I did a video where I said that Malgus is like the epitome of the Sith code. He follows it to a T, and we don't see that very often with the Sith. I feel like the Jedi follow their code or have like a general understanding of their code a lot better than the Sith, right? Because I think Sith are selfish. They're inherently selfish, and they all want maximum power. And so I think we see that a lot. We see, you guys bring up Traya. Okay, Traya's philosophy was really weird compared to a lot of other Sith. And like, just, I feel like I go back to that like idea of like versatility in the dark side. Like the Sith, especially in the Old Republic, most of them, every single one of them had a different idea of what that code meant. They didn't really take it literally. They interpreted it to what fit them best, except for Malgus. He like worshipped that thing. You walk through it, the whole code with him during that whole book, and to the point where I don't were you part of the discussion I was having, Chaco, when I was like, Malgus is a Jedi? Because he has this moment at the end of the book where he's like, I serve the Force, and I'm like, whoa. Wait a second, buddy. That's the wrong code. But no, I mean, and then I had a long conversation with Element, my good old Jedi Master, and I realized, no, he follows the code to a T, which is something you don't see very often. So yeah, I did want to mention that because Dagavir brought it up. But
yeah,
and I just really, we see that dogmatic relationship so much in the Old Republic. In Deceived, we see it in Fatal Alliance when we have a Sith apprentice and a Jedi apprentice working together, and they're like, why do you do it this way? Well, why do you do it this way? So yeah, I don't know. Those are my 2 cents, but I want Hi, Element 7.
And it's something Element said earlier too when talking about the dark side of like, do you so much serve it, or does it become almost like an insatiable craving? Does it? And I talking about Malgus, he did his girl dirty, because he loved her, and so that's why I always say it's that knife's edge, because while it is about yourself, it also changes you and changes what you want. So even if you go through it like Anakin for someone you love, you may come out the other side. I made a video on a while ago saying Anakin is Walter White, because Walter White, he started his thing because he needed money for his family so that they could live after he died. By the end, he was like, I do this because the money's good and I'm good at it, and it's interesting to see that kind of flip where you come out the side different, but it's still what you want. So it's still the same passion, it's still your same drive. You know what I mean? At least that's kind of that's how I see it. Rana saying Anakin is Macbeth. I'll have to revisit Macbeth. um, Malgus just wanted some meth. Yeah, I can see that. I feel like Malgus's design was like, you know what? On his face, we'll make him Vader on bottom, Bane up top. That's what the barber said.
So I love that Sith Lord so much, fam. God,
I hate him, which is so funny because you were like, I love him. I can't stand him, but like in the way that you're supposed to, right? Usually I have the opposite reaction for Sith, but I'm just like, man, you are such an asshole.
He is. It's SWTOR. He is. Like every time you think you pick the right answer, he's always like, no, I got something to say. It's always something.
I mean, in SWTOR, we can all agree that Barris is the worst. I hate that guy.
Oh yeah, no. So that's the Sith Knight campaign, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
All right, you get to turn one light character in anywhere in Star Wars, turn them dark. Who you going with and why? I'm going to Dagobah first.
Okay, all right. So it's not going to be Qui-Gon Jinn. Okay, it's not going to be Yoda. It's not going to be Mace Windu. I'm going to turn Kenobi Darkside. Okay, I'm going to turn Kenobi Darkside because I always loved the whole. What is the story about how I think it was George Lucas had told everybody that I think what was the story about Empire Strikes Back? It wasn't going to be Luke or no, I am your father. It was going to be Obi-Wan. Lied to you or betrayed you? Yeah, Obi-Wan killed your father. So I've always thought about, and because he's such a great Jedi, there really isn't a lot of like issues that he has. I would love to see like a Kenobi dark side. What is that? What happens here?
All right, quick question. When would you turn him? Would he turn
after Revenge of the Sith? No, after Revenge of the Sith, because ultimately that would be, I think, what would be his motivation to turn to fall to the dark side because of his failures. I think he would see training Anakin as a failure, and what would happen to the Jedi. I just think, in a different timeline, maybe he succumbs to the dark side when his meditation secluded away from everybody else. I don't know.
Let's picture him on Tatooine, just pissed off and just like
sad,
just raging.
Maybe Mace Windu's talking to him. Qui-Gon Jinn, you failed the chosen one, like, oh no, and then Satine now too. Oh God, dang it,
How about you, Callus?
I'm turning the sword of the Jedi dark, so she can join her brother.
Ooh, don't do that to my girl.
Yes, listen, I need her dark side so that his vision can be fulfilled. I'm turning the sword of the Jedi dark.
I love it. Yeah, Jaina would be a beast.
Oh man, would she?
No, I don't want to get in front of that train, fam. No way.
Just imagine.
Especially after training Mandalorian with some Mandalorian stuff, she would dip into that a bit more.
It's over with.
Awesome. How about you, Sora?
I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I filtered through a couple of options. Like, my gut instinct tells me Rey because minus the sharp teeth, because that was really weird. But my gut instinct tells me Rey because I just think there was potential to explore that a little bit more. And obviously I love Rey. I love the arc that she ends up having, but yeah, I'm going to go with Rey because I think that if they had gone that direction and turned Ben back a little earlier, I would have liked to see how that played out.
Yeah, and we got Rhonda here in full agreement. Dark Rey.
We were robbed. I love it. I would love to see that because I always thought that was one of the best scenes in the movie was, the potential of her darkness. And I really wanted to see it kind of like her struggle with it more throughout the movie, like exactly. maybe like literally like Dark Rey follow her through her entire journey. I would have loved like to see Dark Ray harass regular Ray.
I just want them in like a buddy cop show. This would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Malik says
great.
Dark Avar Chris. I mean, the way she sees the Force is like music and stuff. And now it just like turns into like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Heavy metal.
Like death metal.
Yeah.
Death metal.
/ like ancient lamentations. Yeah, I would like to check that out. The Soda Man says turn Kit Fisto to the dark side. His smile turned evil.
No.
Would be amazing.
Soda bam. Let's go.
How about you, Em?
So when I was thinking about it, I know a lot of the choices are going to be like the main characters from the movies, right? And I was thinking, I'm like, well, let's go back, right? What Jedi, if they turned, would change literally absolutely everything? I'm going to go with Grandmaster Satil Shan.
Whoa.
No.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So I started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. Like, and if you read it, and if that was the case, I mean, when would she have turned, right? Like, would she have had Theron, or would she have been with Jade? Like, I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different combinations that could happen. But I feel like the most destruction and chaos and power of the Sith would happen if she turned fully to the dark and became the master of the Sith.
I was gonna say that as a joke, but I'm glad I waited.
I mean, first of all, that aesthetic would be astounding just in and of itself. But I know Elements in the chat crying, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Levi Bond says Ahsoka for him. We got to see a glimpse of a Darkside Ahsoka in in that one arc.
Mortis, I believe.
The Mortis arc, yeah. We have Ace, who uses the Anna Booker thing. Kiadi Mundi. Kiadi Mundi is a dick, and he's kind of dark anyways. So Inquisitor Kanan would have been a monster. That's a good. I've never even thought about that. Or permanent dark Quinlan Voss.
Dang.
So he's just what was his name? Professor Enigma, right? Dark Nass, Jar Jar's master. Like if Boss Nass was somehow a Force user. Yeah, I could.
Dang, did you see Element's comment about the Battle of Alderaan?
No one will survive at Dark Yoda. What was that book? Dark Rendezvous, right?
Yeah.
We got to get a glimpse of like, oh no, you don't want that smoke. Like,
No.
I did not.
No. I love it. If I were to have to choose, I know a couple people probably already know. Saba 17. Now, I have this weird love for Saba 17, just a big old lizard. Like reading,
she was dope though.
She was so cool.
Oh, she was dope.
And reading her, I just always pictured the lizard from the 90s Spider-Man show. Essentially, I just pictured that lizard with a lightsaber. That was my mental image the entire time. And it was the coolest thing. But having, a lizard brain, that cold aesthetic, I could see it lending itself to the dark side. Just spinning around, slashing, slapping people with her tail, and then biting heads off. That's what I want to see. Let's see. X4 Gamer says a fallen Jedi, Belzetafar. That's I don't even know. I don't even want to know, but like with Ember, is fire breathing dog like on the dark side with him. That seems terrible. So is Dark Vernestra Row. We get one of those Githany style lightsaber whips.
Yeah.
Lumia as well.
Yeah, Lumia.
Yeah. I can't wait to see a lot of these characters in the High Republic because I think a lot of them are going to go dark, fam. I really do. They all got problems. They all got problems. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it, fam.
I mean, I'm calling Comac going dark, but that's just me. All right. Coolest Darkside ability, because we know that that's half of the thing is playing. We played our video games, and you got to pretend to be Zeus and just like fry people, which is just like my favorite thing. And I'll go to Callus first.
Well, I'm going Bane. I have to go with either life essence transfer or drain life, because I got to be immortal.
Yeah.
It's that's what it is for me, baby. Live it forever.
Just just gotta crack them open and
Exactly.
How would you, Sora? Coolest Darkside ability?
Yes. The Ritual of Anathema for me.
Oh no.
Wow. She's a planet killer.
I'm like, hey, you can pick one weapon. She's like, Death Star. Okay.
It'll always be, that is the first thing. This is not the only thing, but that is reading about the Ritual of Anathema in Revan is the first time that Star Wars genuinely like scared me. And I was a grown ass adult reading that. So that's it.
That's why I was keeping tabs on you while you were playing SWOTOR on that world. I'm like, oh, you got there? Okay, just let me know when it happens. What happened?
I regretted it so much when you weren't there. I was just like that was my face. I couldn't see it coming. Like, and then after it happened, I was like, oh my god, he was mind controlling everyone on the planet. It was all right here in front of me. How did I not notice that? I wish you were there.
It happens.
Everyone should play SWOTOR. It's getting a new expansion coming up this winter. Where it's gonna be some cool stuff.
I can't wait.
Yeah, still only game that posts Legends continuity, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible during this time. But that game's been going on for what, almost a decade?
2012.
Yeah. Let's go.
How about you, Em?
You got it.
You unmuted and then you remuted.
Hit the double tap.
You're muted again. We can't hear you. No, you're so excited. Okay, there we go.
The thing keeps automatically muting. No, I have kids, and so they like run around everywhere, and like they're really loud. So I think a lot of times when we think of like the dark side power, right? It's you want like the most like powerful like you could do, and then when you think about the energy that takes, it's like you got like a one shot time to do it, right? So think of like the frequency that you want to be able to use something. And I love Darth Xana's Spell of Madness. I mean, that's awesome, right? Your likelihood that you're in close combat with someone is probably more likely than like taking out a planet or battleships, that type of thing. And honestly, the powers that they have in Before the Old Republic and what they achieved is fascinating to me. I absolutely love the idea of alchemy of the flesh. Love that idea. And I mean, I don't like to spoil the books or anything like that, but if you haven't read about it, just like read about it. Very fascinating. That ability of like tissue, like being able to grow things and repair things. It's, I mean, amazing to me. Love it.
I love it. Whenever Scarlet Witch would do the thing with her hand, that's what I picture for Xana doing. Like, she's fighting and you're like, and she messes people's brains up. It's rough. It just feels really bad, man. How about you, Dagobir?
I mean, there's so many incredible abilities, essence transfer, of course, and then I think because I've played so many video games with Star Wars: Old Republic, and I was a Sith assassin, so I always love the lightning and the invisibility stuff. But honestly, I think I'm gonna have to go with Thought Bomb. I think Thought Bomb is. When I read that, I was just like, whoa, dang, man, that blew my mind. Like I was like, what the heck? Yeah, I've always loved the idea of it, and I think it's only I think it's only been like I think it's only appeared twice, maybe, and like all Star Wars. I'm not sure. I only remember it from the Bane, and then I think there was another iteration of that later in the timeline. So yeah, I would like to see more of that. Who knows?
You can thank the ritual anathema for that.
yeah, you know it.
Let's see here. Zanho says, Drain Life looks cool, but it depends on the situation. And Jedi Academy, full Force Choke at full strength lets you float them over a cliff and drop them.
Very true.
Yes.
Jedi Academy, there's that one, you're like jumping on the platforms on the outside of that cliff. I didn't fight a single person, just like, yeet. Like,
just I love that game, fam. I can talk about that game for hours.
Force smell all day.
I don't know about that one, fam. I don't know about that one.
Levi Bond says that bomb definitely blew some minds. And then he
No, I shouldn't have laughed. That was
it's just terrible.
Every time I see his avatar, I just want to say, "We found him."
We found him.
For me, I'm sorry, it's super basic, but
yeah,
just Force Lightning is just so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was just conditioned to really like electricity based powers, because half of them are black. I don't know if the chicken came first or the egg, but like I don't know, ever since I saw that, especially seeing the varying degrees and the different things that it can do, but I remember the first time I read the Revan book, and when he puts the mask back on and walks out and fries that person into a charred husk, and like I was cheering at that part of the book, because I was like,
it's one of the best parts of the book.
No, Force Lightning is just really. It seems like at least Palpatine has trouble turning it off. Like every time he uses it, it just like keeps going. You're like, all right, man, you need like some like rubber gloves or something to slide on like when you're done, so you don't get beat with that anymore. But whatever. All right, cool. So we got abilities. Now I got to hear your guys' favorite Sith and why. It doesn't matter if it's canon or Legends, or at least got give me both. Give me your canon character and your Legends character. Of course, if there's any honorable mentions. Sawyer, what do you think?
Not Darth Nihilus. Anybody but him. No, you know what? I am hesitant to answer Vitiate, because at the end of the day, he becomes Valkorion, and that is, he exceeds Sith at that point. So I would have to say from Legends, it's Kreia. Kreia is one of my favorite characters, and her philosophy of the Force is so fascinating, and a lot of people have issues with KOTOR 2, but I could just play it over and over and over again just to try to find every piece of dialogue that she has. She's amazing. I love her. Canon, I don't know. I mean, like, I kind of want to say Maul, even though he's not the best Sith. I love the character, and he's not even a Sith for that long, but Maul is probably my favorite from canon.
He still counts, and I'll let you guys use gray areas, Ventress if you want, whatever it means to you, whatever jumps out at you. How about you, Em?
Oh, sorry, it keeps doing it. It keeps like glitching. So from Legends, it's hands down going to be Darthana. I mean, the sheer power that she has with the dark side, not to mention her dueling capabilities. She had quite the cunning. And, I honestly think that if she existed hundreds of years prior, in the time of like the high, like when Sith were at the all-time high, right? So she had pure Sith train, like even from like, Frida Nad, that type of era. And she had some light side training. she specifically would be one of the most powerful Force users of all times, because when you think about it, much like Anakin, Xana was the chosen one in that situation. Bane was the middleman. Fight me, right? So like I think that she needs to be in canon, but as far as canon Sith, it's going to be Sidious all the way, because he's the accumulation of the entire rule of two into one fabulous little feisty guy.
No, I love, like, when you first meet Rain, and she's just like playing with the bouncers and just like tears those two Jedi like down, and you're like, oh, she's not playing. Okay, all right. Yeah, she's bad. No, I love Xana. How about you, Dagavir?
I was looking at this a while ago, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna shut up about this one. You know, I love Tulak Horde. I love Malgus. You know, Cadus. I love all these characters. But Sawyer took my non-canon one, Kreia. Just because I love the philosophy of I don't know if you've ever seen that video. I think it was like a college project or something. But this kid made like
3 hours long.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, that's the one, dude. Oh my! But like, she has an answer for like everything, you know. And I think that's why I love that character so much, because at the time, even though I still kind of feel the same way, I feel like she's probably one of the best written characters. You know, just like how the exploration of the forces and how many answers she has to just like everything. You know, I was just like, wow, geez, you know, why can't she? Like, that's a character I would love to be in canon. You know, or some type of iteration of her sooner or later. But I would have to go with her. But canon, yeah, I guess I don't know, fam. I guess Vader. I gotta go with.
I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, wow, there's so many, you know. But yeah, no, I guess Vader, just because his struggle. That's my boy Anakin Skywalker, you know. So yeah, that's why I choose him.
Awesome. In the chat, we got Padawan's podcast saying Legends is Plagueis and canon it's Vader. Nice. Xanatos, it's Cadus and Vader. We got Vader and Nihilus.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. See. We got Scion and Maul.
Okay, Scion's a good one.
Yes, Scion.
Yeah, let's go.
Nobody talks about him.
No one talks about Scion too much. Yeah. Another
Man,
one
too angry to die.
like straight up, like just I love
wants
that.
to.
Yes. I love his battle where she's literally telling him like, dude, it's okay, like you can go, like just relax,
just lay down, bro.
Yeah, just stop, please.
Did you ever see you? Like, did you look in the mirror?
Yes,
just lay down.
Yeah, man. Oh, I love it. I love that. Yeah, who's next? Yeah, let's go.
Oh yeah. We got Levi Bond, who is shouting out also.
Yeah, that's the one.
Of Kreia. It's beautiful. Harith, Vader, and he's got nothing. say Pat some more Plagueis love, and she for canon. She was just some dude. We got Darth Rylock for Legends.
Wow, no Naga Sadao or Marco Ragnos.
Apparently not.
Wow.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Where are you at, Callus?
I'm Cadus for Legends, and it's just because of his story. It just sits well with me. It resonates with me because of just how enveloped he was in the light side of the Force, and to see this man at the time, because of what he thought his daughter was going to go through, to prevent that from happening, he's willing to sacrifice himself to do that. I just loved that story and just his concept, that change. And it was just everything that that I would have done. You know, I have a daughter too, you know, so and if that meant if I saw a vision of the future where she's on that Sith throne, to prevent that from happening, sacrificing myself, I'm walking through those razor blades, you know, like I'm taking that L so that she can stay on the path of the light. And I just love that about his story. So Kitus for Legends, and if I'm going canon, it's got to be Sidious. And Sidious, just for his pure evil. I mean, he was psychopathic.
Yeah, he's a bad dude.
This guy killed his father. Like, I mean, come on, man. This is a psychopath, and he's evil for no good reason.
No.
You know, and so
had a kind master too.
Yeah.
Like,
so he was just the embodiment of that darkness, beyond even the dark side, just the darkness of his soul. And I love that too. So yeah,
damn,
I'm going Sidious canon, and I'm going Kitus Legends.
I love it, because especially that final duel with him and Jaina.
Yeah.
And it's the last move, and he can take her with him, but instead he uses that last breath of life to reach out to his daughter. Woo! Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. So for me, canon, I do love me some Palpatine. I love, like, watching the Clone Wars. There's all these scenes where right before the scene ends, he has this little smile. Like, he's just like his commitment to the bit is absolute. It's just absolute. And even though, like, the Plagueis book isn't canon, Sheev in that book, when it gets to the end and you realize Sheev has actually been manipulating him, Plagueis, from the start. And if you think about all of the things that they said, and you can see it, you can see
absolutely
Sheev, putting things together so that Plagueis will make this decision, and you're like, this guy's just a freaking monster.
Really wishing a time that Plagueis wasn't drunk. Sorry, Callus.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, and just right underneath, he's operating under the most powerful Jedi of the time. And he's fooling them. Fooling them.
Out to dinner with them, like hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about that.
He was right there. He was right there, bro.
Like, come on. And you just figured this out. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's you.
It's the worst game of werewolf ever, bro.
That's why I love the book Labyrinth of Evil, because the Jedi are about to figure him out, and then he's like, "Hey, Grievous, can you come pick me up?"
Yeah, right. Please, Mace almost had it.
Just pick me up. I don't care, man. Just come. And then on the Legends side, I feel we were just going for the two powerhouses, but I got to go Vitiate as well.
He's too good too. Yeah.
As you kind of peel back his story, find out about him as a kid, and like him just being nuts, just in general. It was just so compelling of a villain to me that I really enjoyed him, and also Bane. It's the classic choice, but like going through Bane's story, and you can see why he made these decisions, just being this kid in the Outer Rim, and the Republic's like, come fight for us, and he's like, what have you guys ever done? Like, out here, the strong people survive. If the Sith do that sounds kind of good, and I'm a big Bane fan as well.
We can talk about all day, fam. I'm telling you right now.
Also, I hate the name Sheev. I think it's just a terrible name. But someone commented Sheev, short for Sheevan. I love it. All right. So, who are you bringing into canon from Legends? You know, if you can't, and how could you do it? Because some characters would be quite difficult, like Titus would be difficult to bring in. Yeah, if you could bring someone in, who are you going to choose? And we'll go to we're going to Sawyer first.
You know, I mean, people ask me this question a lot, what I would bring in, just because, you know, I do a lot of Old Republic stuff, and people are always like, oh, you know, how would you bring Revan in, and how would you when it comes to like KOTOR 1, I feel like not a lot needs to be changed to like you could pretty much copy and paste that isolated story into canon. But if I could, I would bring Kreia into canon, I think. Because she doesn't... I'm sorry! You can answer it!
No, it's like, you go.
But I mean, like, I think you can add her into the dynamic and her philosophy, and, you know, you can put her into canon without destroying everything else we know about the Sith in canon. Whereas if you were to bring in Vitiate, for instance, the cutting and pasting that you would need to do to his character and his story, it just wouldn't be worth it anymore. He's too OP. He does things that should never be done in the Force at all. And, you know, so I think Kreia would be a great choice, because I do think you could write a very similar story, even if you couldn't completely copy paste the story of KOTOR 2. You know, you could... There's absolutely no reason why there couldn't be a, you know, exiled Jedi who walked Kreia's path and took that route. Because before the High Republic, it's free game right now. So, you know, her story is very isolated. It doesn't have a huge impact on the rest of the galaxy. So I think, yeah, that's my choice.
Yeah, you know what, to be honest, I would love Kreia, someone walking that path, to come in post Rise of Skywalker. And whatever order that Rey ends up building has to deal with someone who's trying to destroy the Force, and just this unique philosophy. Yeah, I think that's where I would put it if I was bringing Kreia in. But what do you think, Emma?
So I'm going to go with the non-Force user, Mr. Theron Shan is my pick, because then if you pick him, can bring in the entire Old Republic and it all sequences perfect, right? But I think he would be great, even though he's not a Force user. You could count cybernetics as its own kind of special thing, but he's almost kind of relatable in a sense, because he comes from a prominent family, chooses to not use the Force, right? He's the hero at the end. I think that when you look at like what he accomplished, right, for just being, you know, I mean, he was obviously trained and everything like that, but he didn't even use the Force, and he was the one that actually saved everyone at the end of Annihilation. That story from that book should be brought onto the screen. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. His character itself, I mean, like, could you imagine who could be casted him? I mean, it would be just endless.
Oh, who's your fan cast? I know you have one in mind.
So for him specifically, I forget me. I don't remember the guy's name. Did he play no, was it the Punisher? I don't really follow the superheroes. The guy that
Barathol.
Yeah, he was in the Walking Dead, or was he in the Walking Dead, or was for a little bit? The guy that played Sheep.
There was a guy that was in Walking Dead that played the Punisher. Yes.
Yeah, him. I think he would be just excellent at that.
Awesome, I love it. How about you, Dagavir? Who would you bring in?
Okay. All right. Don't hate me for this one, okay? So yeah, no, I mean, I definitely would love Treya, you know, and I'm one of those people that, like, yeah, kind of what Sawyer was talking about was like, I really like how the High Republic is like, what, 200 years before the Phantom Menace? So
yeah,
anything before that, I don't know. I still think it's canon, you know, like, I just like, until someone comes out and they make a story that erases all of it, I still think like KOTOR is canon for now, you know. But I'm thinking, all right, ready? Abeloth. I would love Abeloth.
Oh.
I would love Abeloth, fam. I think
game changer, man.
Bro, I think Abeloth would be so sick to like she's just sitting out there stuck. and just stuck and floating in space, right? And this is like thousands of years going on. And then, what's to say, what's to say if like, Rey doesn't pick up where Luke went off and just may run into her and the Finn in the New Jedi Order? I don't know. I'm just saying. I would love to see that.
What's like even reading Fate of the Jedi, I still don't understand how Abeloth lost. You can like make copies of herself whenever she wants, and like
yeah. But because I feel like you also bring in Darth Krayt, and because he's another character that's like just sitting out there waiting, training, and he's gonna go off and he's gonna kill the Emperor and Darth Vader. He's waiting for all this to happen. I don't know. I think Abeloth is a key to a lot of story, but that's just me. That's just me. I know I'm the minority. It's okay.
I have a toddler that just fell on the pavement outside.
Oh no.
I have to go. This is bad. I have to go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing me on. This was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for
coming
for the discussion.
Yeah. Bye, Em. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Go do your thing.
Yeah. Bleeding.
That's unfortunate. No, I one thing I think that would be cool that you're making me think of by saying Abeloth is to have that lost tribe of the Sith just out there,
bro.
Floating around.
Yeah, man.
Now I don't need a weird Sith training spear that looks like an eyeball that's just named Ship.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Of course.
But
yeah.
No, there's a lot of possibilities. What are you thinking, Callus?
Well, my dream I can't really bring in because it would kind of change up everything. So I'll stay away from that. But to Sawyer's point where I would not want him to be OP, but I would love to see him integrated into the story during this the rebellion being formed time period is Star Killer. But I would like to see them dial his power back.
Yes.
I love it as a game. It's great, having all those force abilities, but
wild.
But his story I thought was awesome. Dialed down his powers, and I think he would fit perfectly in that timeline without changing much, without having to change much, as it would change if I brought in the Solo twins and Ben Skywalker. That's what I would really love.
Yeah.
Mara Jade. Yeah.
I do love that pick though, because and Jedi_Starkiller AJ, like it was one of the first videos I saw of him where he was talking about like what if they did bring him in by having like there was this person that was kind of isolated somewhere that was being trained by Vader, and you could have Luke post Return of the Jedi, maybe how he is in Mando days right now, and you have this guy show up who feels like he is the heir apparent to Vader, and then you have Luke who's the heir apparent to Anakin. And both these people are fighting over the legacy of the same person, and that comes to a head. That would just be a really cool story that you could tell early on, and I think it could totally fit in if done well, if done right. For me personally, I'm in the same boat as Callus, because my girl is training Solo. Wouldn't work super well, but I'm going to cheat on my own question. The thing I would love is the whole concept of like Centerpoint Station and Sinkhole Station, and kind of that whole Corellian coalition that kind of rises, that's led by Thraken Sal Solo. Was just cool and made for some interesting conflict of those guys are starting to rise up and do their thing. So I guess I'll say Thraken Sal Solo. He's Han Solo's brother. He looks a lot like him, just like taller and thinner, and has a beard, if I'm not mistaken. But he's just like he's rose to like be a small, well, actually a big time ruler and stuff over there, and he's just a dick. He's just like a horrible person. It's just really funny. Okay, all right, I like that. And it looks like we are getting closer to the end here, but let's talk about our love for the Star Wars games. So speaking of Sith, the heavy hitters right now we know are KOTOR 1 and 2 and SWTOR and The Force Unleashed. But I'm curious your love for those games and like what is your favorite Star Wars game? Dagobir?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I wasn't really allowed to video game back. Well, like I really only started gaming when I was like 20 something. And so that was around the time of SWTOR. So I spent like
your parents must be pissed.
Ooh, bro, they don't know. Let's go. Yeah, man. They thought their boy was gonna be playing Major League Baseball, not today. So SWTOR, I mean, all day. And I just remember going to the cantina in the role play stuff. I did that, yeah, whatever, and I enjoyed it. It was so fun. The soundtrack is beautiful, man. I just really love the detail they put into that game. But the one game that I love so much that I want to see a modern day version of is definitely the Jedi Knight games, the Jedi Outcast games, where you could just where's my multiplayer brawl, choosing your own force sensitive and lightsaber. Like that game was so ahead of its time, like crazy that you could choose all these that was the first time I saw like a yellow lightsaber and I was like, what? Yeah. Did you see this? And then that was it. And I was like, I was hooked on it forever, fam. It was so good.
Awesome. How about you, Callis?
So I actually was a PlayStation person back in the day, and I didn't have a gaming PC, so I bought the Xbox for KOTOR.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
So KOTOR is my overall favorite. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love SWTOR, KOTOR 2.
Mm-hmm.
If I have to say MMOs, though, it will be some people may not have played because but Star Wars Galaxies. I don't know if anybody was lucky enough to
I missed it, fam. I missed it.
Oh my!
I know.
Oh, loved that. So Galaxies was one of them. Of course, the academies, Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast. But yeah, KOTOR will probably always take the cake.
Would you mind if I toss you a curveball here?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You get to make your own Star Wars game. Like what type of game are you bringing into the world?
You asking me?
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to be some kind of a mesh between a Witcher, Star Wars Galaxies, because I want it open world, but I want it MMO. Because I want to be able to live that adventure. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to live in that world. I don't want to see the end date. Except for end game. That's what I want. So it would have to be something in some sort of an updated Galaxies, Star Wars Galaxies, because I love SWTOR, but it told this story terrific. It tells that story terrific.
Tell them.
But it misses that aspect of your story.
Yeah.
And that's what Galaxy brings. It's your story. So somehow I'm not a game designer. So somehow we gotta mesh those two worlds. Yeah, we gotta bring those two worlds together.
I love it. We got Xanatos in here, Star Wars Galaxies. Harith, a big Fallen Order fan. Actually, we saw Harith fought the final boss for like 6 hours straight, something like that. On
what?
On the highest difficulty, but still and streamed the whole thing. John Skill
Aaron.
was there with him that whole
What's
whole
going
time.
on?
I want to play it on that difficulty, but I don't hate myself enough yet. Brooke wants a bounty hunter open world game.
I thought they were going to give us that with.
Oh, don't get me
13.
started.
Yeah.
Don't get
I
me
thought we
started,
were
bro.
getting
Because Sawyer's got. It's
Yeah.
gonna be KOTOR. It's gonna be KOTOR.
Yeah.
It's gonna be KOTOR. We all know. We all know.
Well, I would just like to say, never in a million years did I think I would have spent as much time on video games as I have in the past 8 months. That was not the trajectory I thought my life was going in. Because you guys probably don't know this, but like I picked up Revan on accident. Like I went to Barnes and Noble looking for a canon book. I don't even remember which one it was, but they didn't have it, and I saw Revan, and I was like, okay, let's try. But all of a sudden, I'm the Old Republic girl on TikTok, so I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I mean, Daggerbear's right. It's gonna be KOTOR because at the end of the day, like KOTOR changed my life in so many ways. It changed my career, it changed my appreciation for Star Wars, it opened me up to a world I never knew existed, and I come from this weird place where I was just movies and like Clone Wars, and then I joined TikTok and watched Rebels and all these things. I did not know the Old Republic, and I was introduced to it this year, and it's just it changed my life. So it's definitely KOTOR. But the weirdest thing is I think KOTOR 2 has a better replay value because literally because of Kreia. Because there's something about wanting to please her. Because every single thing you do, she hates. And I feel like there's just more to explore almost with, there's just another level of like mystery behind it. And I feel like, with Revan, a lot of people, there is a canon story, or there is there is an ending that you're supposed to have. Technically, there is one for the Jedi Exile as well, but I feel like it's lower stakes, because Revan leads into a book and to his, MMO arcs and stuff. But yeah, I just think there's more replay value for KOTOR 2, and I've been meaning, probably not yet, not until I get my PC, but when I finally eventually get my PC, I think the first thing I'm going to do is replay KOTOR 2, because I didn't do the Darkside route, and I want to pick up that game again. So.
Nice. We got Brooke in the chat, says Old Republic girl with cool shoes and a cool jacket.
It's
coming
true.
Soon. Our good friend Brooke B Dazzler, Far Away Factory, makes incredible stuff. Like I've seen, I don't know how people get so good at art and stuff, but like we'll make custom design jackets for people and shoes and like.
I don't even know. I told her to go crazy. I was like, because I ordered from someone else. I ordered my Revan shoes, and I want them to match. But I told her to go crazy. Just do. So I'm excited to see what I get.
Dang, man! I wanted to check that out. Yeah.
All right. So I know you're not as big into gaming, but if you are pitching a new game, what are you gonna pitch?
Oh my god. I don't know. I just talk about video games. I don't play them. Everyone is like, Sawyer, when are you gonna stream SWTOR? Or now I have that crowd that's like, when are you gonna stream Resident Evil? It's gonna be on easy mode. I'm really bad at video games, so I don't know what I would make. I don't honestly think I have an answer for you, because I don't even know what I would want to, I don't know. I don't know what I would want to see that I haven't already seen in video games. I like to
How about
experience them.
How about this? You play, your game pitch is Kreia's backstory, where you get to play as her and see the failings and stuff and fall down that path. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't think she had that much I don't think she went through enough physically during that. I don't know. Maybe she did go on some kind of killing rampage, but I don't think so.
It's a dating sim with Darth Nihilus.
Oh no! Oh Lord!
Done.
No. Oh my
Um,
god. You
that
know
is it.
what? We could do a video game about Vitiate, like where you play as him. I'd sign up for that. Like
Yo,
going through his, maybe not when he's like a child, but
I don't know. I would do that. I would love to see him as like a pure Sith blood and running around and amongst
As a,
that.
ch- as a child, he was a
Yo.
beast too.
that's true. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, yeah,
Just
we
ask his
could do a
parents.
Vitiate video game.
Just kidding, you can't. Dagavir, what game are you pitching?
Oh, fam, you know we had this podcast before. Well, I love open world. I also enjoy environmental storytelling. I also, if you have the luxury of friends, some people play alone like me. I would also like to fly a ship with your homeboys and homegirls and homies, and you go around and beat up people and everything else. I would definitely, yeah. But like, I like first person too, or third person. Maybe you could have that choice. Like Battlefront would give you that choice back in the day. And I would love to see a like Grand Theft Auto mechanic. I don't really like Grand Theft Auto, but I like the mechanic of like going around and let's say you decide to attack these poor rebels, and then all of a sudden, now you're on the New Republic's wanted list, and then you have to be a bounty hunter and learn how to scavenge and do all these crazy things. And I think, and then maybe you run into other players who are Mandos or Force sensitives. I would like that. I would enjoy a Star Wars game like that. When's that coming out? Probably never, but I would love to see that. So
we got Malik here who wants a dedicated modern Star Wars fighting game, please.
Oh, there's so many characters. Let's go.
I will still go on record saying I am probably in the top 10 in the world at Star Wars Masters of Terrakasi. If you remember that game from PlayStation, give me Arden Lin and Dunzo.
Fam, Evo Japan 2025. Terrakasi, let's go. Top 16. We gotta do it. I'll cast. I have experience. Okay, so let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I love it.
A point and click detective game with Thrawn.
That'd be so funny. Just hear him talk about everything.
Assassin's Creed Clone Commando style game. Sounds weird, but like Sea of Thieves types with a ship. Like if it's Sea of Thieves, but it's in space, that might be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of just want that and just have it space pirates and you're part of Hondo's crew and you gotta like come up and like try to overtake him and everyone's turning on each other.
Yeah.
Element says Red Dead Redemption, but Star Wars.
That's my name, I guess. But that's the beauty of like Star Wars, though. It can be any game, like any genre game, because it's so expansive. There's so much. It can be any game, any game it wants it to be.
And that's what I now want, because I've been watching Shaylee play it, is Detroit Become Human style.
Oh my god!
Oh man, so great.
And yeah, you can jump into different perspectives of different people, maybe a couple Jedi, maybe a Sith somewhere, some or I would say like High Republic, where there's Nile involved and just like regular people, and but like our Star Wars books, where these people's stories all intertwine and intersect and lead different places. You could have so many different interesting like interactions. I don't know. I can see it being amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I also think like Detroit. Was it Detroit and Become Human or Detroit? Yeah, I think so. That, but the Clone Uprising. And you play as the clone.
That might be better.
Yeah, get ready to see them all die.
I'm picturing like you change perspective, but you're just different clones.
Yeah, dude. Like, unknown clones, original clones, and you think they're all gonna survive somehow, some way, and then they're all on Camino and Vader comes. Yeah. So.
That also could be sweet. Like a monster style game where it's like Alien, but it's Vader that's coming after you. You're stuck on a spaceship, space station, and you're trying to like find the components on the station to fix your ship and make it off.
Oh my god!
But Vader is there, and you're just like
so like Alien Isolation, but Vader.
Yes.
Oh, I'm done. Okay,
Or Abeloth. I don't know.
Wait, we get crazy now.
No,
But
no Abeloth.
Well, she doesn't have to be as omnipotent. It's okay,
I'm
you know. It's all right.
but all right, thank you guys so much for coming out and joining. Last little bit, let's talk about just what you are excited about that's coming up in Star Wars, and then if there's any closing thoughts that you have on the topic, the Sith and the dark side and all that stuff, and then let us know where we can find you and your guys' awesome content again. We'll go Dagobah first.
Oh yeah. So is it the Star Wars thing first? Is what are we most excited for Star Wars first, and then
yeah, we're excited for that.
I don't for everything, fam. I just think they're hot right now. I mean, maybe not for video games, obviously, but everything else, I'm enjoying. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for Star Wars Visions. As a former weeb, I cannot wait, fam. I'm gonna be so hyped.
No such thing as a former weeb.
I know, as soon as I see it, I'm just gonna go nuts. It's gonna be great. Mandalorian's so hot. I can't stop. Ahsoka series is gonna be fantastic. Even the Rogue Squadron movie that's gonna be coming out. I'm so excited for all this stuff, fam.
Yeah.
And then me, I don't know if you can tell, but I get excited about Star Wars. So if you want that type of energy, find me on YouTube and Twitter, and I won't shut up. It's gonna be great. So yeah, there I am.
Absolutely. Best reactions. Wait, you're doing? Are you doing like your pre-show live? Or are you doing the reactions live now?
So no, the reactions are not live because I just really I have to do that away from everybody else. I just don't want people to see me and like get all excited and everything. I'll just let that for the recording stuff. But it's the pre-show, so I can get you hype, and then I'll go take a nap, and then we'll come back and watch the reactions. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I think my reaction was I think Mark Hamill saw my reaction in that collab video too. I was like one of the people that they caught. So I don't know. I guess people like it. So yeah,
it's good. Callus?
Yeah, I'm excited for these last 2 episodes. I want to see how we finish off the season for Bad Batch. If we're going to actually have a second season or not, because has that been disclosed? So I'm excited to see whether or not that's going to happen. And just like Dag said, with everything live action coming up, Ahsoka, Thrawn, Ezra, Mandalorian 3, Book of Boba Fett. It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan at this point. So I'm excited for what they have on deck. Absolutely.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Let's get it.
And where can we find you?
On YouTube, it's Lord Callus TV. And then, like I was saying at the beginning, I just moved some of my shorts over to TikTok because I was doing a lot of viewing at first. And now I said, you know what? Now we've got shorts. Let me put them over here on TikTok and see what happens. So I just moved those over. So it's Lord Callus on TikTok as well. And then Twitter is Callus Lord.
All right. Beautiful. And last but certainly not least, we have Sorism.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad because I feel like my answer about what I'm most excited for has been the same for a while, but now I can sit here and say I'm super excited for Wave 3 of the High Republic now that we know that is a thing that's coming. Otherwise, I would say like The Acolyte because that's the show I'm most looking forward to. I really, really love the High Republic era, but also Ahsoka, especially with the Ezra Thrawn thing, and you know what, for someone who isn't like doesn't rank the prequels as a whole very high on her list in terms of other stuff, I'm really excited to see Kenobi. I've got really high hopes, so yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that as well.
Yeah, that might be the show. That might be the show. As far as finding me, I'm Sawyerism on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
YouTube.
Elements pushing for it.
Goodness,
We had a long talk.
Yeah, man. That's the second largest search engine. You gotta get on there. Let's go.
Scared. I don't know how to make a YouTube video.
That didn't stop me.
But
It
you
still
know
doesn't.
what? I just finalized my course load for the semester. It actually is looking pretty mild, which is kind of shocking for my senior year. So I will have the time. We will do it. I'm talking about maybe starting a new podcast. I will make it to YouTube. It will happen.
Awesome. No, I love it so much. I also have to do a quick shout out to the person in the chat who said Xcore, who said Ty York Monster Hunter game would be pretty
Yes.
sweet. I just need it's just The Witcher, but it's Ty York.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm gonna need that for sure.
Yeah.
I always talk about it, but just being a huge Force lore person myself, the Acolyte, definitely Ahsoka for sure. I also, part of the next wave of the High Republic is the Martian Row like big comic. It's like I think both of it's going to be like 60 pages of just Markion Row. So
You just pronounced it the way that both audiobooks pronounce it. You said Martian first, and then you just said Markion.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing
So
that drives
confusing.
me crazy about the
So
audiobooks.
confusing.
I'm like, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Just say
so
because when I first heard it as Martian, so now all I hear is Martian. So when it says Markion, it sounds wrong in my ear.
A double take.
that's actually
Yeah.
that's why I had to pause, because I've said Martian for so long for this entire thing, and then I saw the recent interview. Charles Shaw was calling him Markion, and I was like, damn it, I gotta change. But yeah, that's still my default. I still have to find the default, change setting each and every time. Brooke says, you can rip Martian from my cold dead hand.
Yeah, exactly. It's Martian. It's Martian.
Sounds better.
And part of I thought that they got the inspiration from one of the original 12 Sith, and her name was Marchioness.
I thought so as well. I mean, because they talked about how there was a lot of stuff is old designs and things where they take bits of this and bits of that.
Damn.
The Jedi Vectors were clone ships, the original ships that the clones are supposed to fight in. I'm trying to adapt Markion.
It's Martian.
But I love it. I just need to see what happens with these characters, because we've been investing with them in them a lot, and I'm excited for next year when we find out what's happening on the gaming front, because I just need more of that. I need to immerse my life in it,
please,
some more. But
help us.
Unfortunately, they didn't say anything, right? At the
nope.
Yeah. No, I mean, we got Lego Star Wars and Hunters that are supposed to be coming out this year too. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We'll
I mean, I get it. I mean, COVID and everything else. I get it. I just, me. I'm a Star Wars fan. I just wanted more. That's all.
I'm still sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for joining. Thank you everyone in the chat for hanging out and chatting with us. It's always a lot of fun. Kalos Dagvir, I'll need you guys to come back on at some
Absolutely.
point. Love
Appreciate
talking
it.
Let's
about
go.
this.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully M's kid is all right. Bring her back on as well. She makes excellent content. She's M Force User M on TikTok. Awesome cosplays and content. Please go follow her immediately. But for everyone else, thank you for joining, and may the Force be with you always.
Deuces.